Hi all. Today we're gonna start with the Python tutorials, and today we are going to learn about the basics of the Python. And in these basic functions, we are going to understand the Python input, output, Python operators, and Python data types. I'm going to show you this the how I'm trying to write the multiple programs, and also I'll try to understand how the Python prints a new line in Python, how the decision making is done, and then the basic calculators programming using the Python. So those are the things I'm going to start. So let me share my screen quickly. And let me just, yes. So I believe my screen is visible now, and let me start off with the, okay. The first thing I just wanted to, before I start with the Python programming, I just like to give a kind of a brief introduction about the Python. You know, Python is kind of very generalized programming languages. It's a high level programming language. And why I'm saying a high level programming language is because, when I say high level programming languages, the high level programming languages kind of, it's a kind of a programming languages that that a kind of that defines the advantages, that is define the kind of programming structure, in a such a way that the programming language has a strong abstractions in such a way that it defines the like the like it can't the relatively they take the runtime system and define in such a way that there is a collection, there is a runtime process, and all these things are there. So I was talking about the abstractions, all those things. So high level languages, they try to provide the features that kind of standardize the common tasks. They have a kind of rich kind of debugging processes and are there. The architecture has been layout kind of created. It's a kind of a low. And then when I talk about the low level are mostly into the code efficient kind of thing. They have a kind of a very throughput optimization. They have a kind of specific system architecture. So low level architecture, they have an input output process, they have a control unit, they have a register, they have a kind of a combinational logics, and all those things are there. I'll try to share the architectural diagram of both the high level programming languages and low level programming languages. And so this helps you to kind of understand the ALGOL process, the ALGOL 58 that defined in 1958. So ALGOL is a kind of a defined process which kind of mostly works with the European and American computer scientists and all, and it also works with the recursion and the kind of nested functions. So those are the things which are been created, but those are very high level things. We will not jump into the high level architecture of those computer programming languages and all, but we'll understand the syntax of it. So the major thing is that, like, we are going to understand, we'll be working with the Python version 3, and so beginning of the Python programming languages, we'll start with the first programming languages, and we'll try to find an interpreter. So before we start the Python programming, we need to have a kind of an interpreter to interpret and run the program. And there are certain kind of IDEs and all these things are available. I'm using the Java, not Java, I'm using the Jupyter notebook and all, and it can be used to run Python programs without kind of installing any kind of you can also use the online IDs, and all those things are also available. So you can use those things, but I would prefer using Jupyter Notebook as of now. And I'm using Mac OS, and you can also generally like in I was using Python 2.7. So in Python 2.7 comes bundled with Mac OS and all. Otherwise, you have to use it. I have installed Python manually. So you can go to the python.org and you can install it manually from there. And yeah, so let me write the first programming language, and let me see how it works. So let me run this program. See, this is the first program I wrote. Okay, so this is very simple, very easy. And so let me analyze what I'm trying to do here. Here, the statement has been interpreted, and yeah. Now, what if Now, if I write this, let me see if it works like that or not. This will not work. This will not be kind of created because when I'm writing a program with hash, when I'm starting a program with hash, this that hash statement is kind of like ignored by the interpreter, and it serve a kind of a documentation for our code. So this is our documentation purpose. Like we know that this is my first program. So if I run this one, you know, it gives you 2. It was 1, and the output is same. But however, this is not connected. This is not kind of integrated, or I would say this has not been kind of uh, the interpreter doesn't take that when it start with an hash. So Python program is generally they use in artificial intelligence and machine learning and kind of neural networks and many other advanced field of computer science. So it's a kind of a process. It's a programming languages which has been kind of extensible. Python has kind of interfaces with various operating systems and all, and libraries which are extensible to C, C Sharp, C++, and Java. So I'll come into the Jython and how it's been integrated with multiple other programming languages and all. So I'll come into that. So problem solving skills are very important to kind of understand the integral part of your computer. So Python does provide it. As I said, it's a high-level languages, and it's a kind of interpreted programming. When I say interpreted programming languages, its execution speed is slower than that of compiled programming languages, that is C. And so the number of the lines of code written in Python is quite less as compared to the C, because you can see for writing this program, we just need to type the my name is Prosenjit, and then it comes here. There are some other functions that there, like we have a kind of declaration of variables, we have the error debugging, function renaming and complexity, memory management, applications, built-in functions, and then how we trying to kind of implement the data structures and pointers. So all these things are there. So I'll keep you explaining about all those things, how I'm trying to declare the variables and all. Declaration of the variables type is not required here. They are untyped, and a given variable can be stuck different types of a value at different instances during the execution of any Python programming. So this has been done. I will not explain you the history of the Python programming languages and all those things because those theoretical things are there. So those things are not required. So there are multiple packages are there for the platform and all. We have multiple, you have to understand the difference between the framework, library, and the package and module. That is very important. Like if we start with the Python programming, there is something called framework. There's something called as library. There's something called package and module. So these things are different, completely different. I'm writing hash over here. This thing is completely different. So what the framework is? The framework is nothing but it's a collection of the libraries. This is a kind of an architecture of the program. So framework is just a collection of the libraries. And however, library is all the collection of the package, and package is a collection of the module, and the module is a file that contains the various Python functions and global variables. It's a kind of the module starts with .py, extension of the .py. It's a .py. So it's a kind of a multiple package. Various Python functions are there. So the module file is very important. And so you might say that how module file is different with the kind of your package file and all. So package file must hold the file, that is package file should have this one. Okay, this is the package file, should have this one. Sorry, it should be .py. Okay, it should be .py. Package file should have this doesn't apply to the module. Module doesn't have this one.
It's 1 o'clock.
But however, to improve everything from a module, you use a kind of wildcard. Wildcard is this nothing, but this is your wildcard. This is your wildcard. Okay, so let me also ignore that. Or you can just, yeah, this is your wildcard. And so module is a file containing the Python code. A package, however, is like a directory that holds the subpackages and a module. So these are the two completely different items. Okay. Now I'll come, like I have also already given you some kind of knowledge on the TensorFlow and the Keras and all those things. If not, scikit-learn and the PyTorch, NumPy, SciPy, Pandas, and Matplotlib, Seaborn. We have done multiple programmings on the Seaborn and Matplotlib. You can find those videos in my channel. And Scrappy is also there. We have a Pygame, we have a Django, and then we have a MicroPython. MicroPython is a Python compiler that runs on kind of hardware of microcontrollers. And also I'll come into all by those things. There is something called Theano. Theano is also a library for kind of a scientific computations, and it deals with the multi-dimensional arrays. So we have a BWAR is there, we have a Kiwi. So there's some of the kind of a specific programming languages there. Kiwi is nothing but it's a kind of open source Python framework, which is used as a cross-platform Python GUI. So Kiwi, you can use that. So yeah, so these are the like 6 to 7 things there, libraries are there. All right. So let's start with the Python programming. And we have to understand the multiple conditional statements, data types, and looping constructors. All those things have to understand. The structure of the Python programming is that you have a kind of top level programming languages, and then we have a kind of a standard library modules. So for example, there are 3 files. Let me explain the structure of the Python programming. There are 3 files. File number 1 is .py. File number 2 is also sorry. File number 1 is apy.py. File number 2 is b.py, and file number 3 is c.py. So 3 Python files are there. Now the file model a.py is chosen for high level file. It is known for a simple text file of a statement. And files b.py and c.py are modules. They are also text files of the statement, but they are generally not started directly, but they are involved by a.py in a high level file. So this is initiated first, and then comes the b.py and c.py. So this is the architecture. So first a.py is initiated, and then these are then b.py and c.py are the modules, which is invoked later. Okay, I hope I was able to kind of explain the basic architecture of the Python programming. And I will share another video of how to download the Python and all. It's not that difficult. You to go to that python.org, and then you can download from the Python versions and all. You can go to the you can download the Anaconda, by the way, www.anaconda.com not underscore slash distribution. So you can go there, you can download the Anaconda, and then you can start working on. There are specifically some keywords are there in Python. So list of the keywords. Let me write the list of the keywords we have. So some of the keywords are like and, assert, break, and we have a class, continue. Just keep a note of all these things, guys. These are very important. And because we need all those things in a later when we do the programming and hands-on. Or let me move on to the next line. These are some of the basic words, which you can, which we need. Like I will explain you which are the keywords are there, why we are using these keywords, why not the other one. Yeah, so these are the kind of few of the languages, few of the list of the keywords, sorry, not languages, the keywords in Python. So keywords are the list of the reserved words that help the predefined meaning of the programming Python interpreter. They are the special vocabulary and cannot be used by other programming, used by the programmer as an identifier for variables and all functions or constants or any other undefined name. So this is the list of the keywords we have in Python. Now we'll have the statements and expressions, so and all those things. Um, so let me write a simple script now. Uh, mm, mm, one. Mm, there's a problem with this one. I don't know why this is not working. This should work generally. Might be some kind of error. So let me just see what is the problem with this. Okay, let's write a simple program. Let's not come into the this one. This one I'll explain you later why it has been not working. It should ideally work. Now, let me write a program that prints the integers from 0 to 5. All right. This is how I'm trying to kind of write the program. Now, why I'm this is nothing but this is a kind of break and continue statement. I'm writing the break and the continue. These are the keywords. So break and continue statement there that provides a kind of greater control over the execution of the code in a loop. Okay, so this is how. But I have to kind of explain you the data structures and all those things before I jump into the programming. So let me start with the basic procedural programming and understand the high-level languages and the simple code to kind of start off. Okay. So the verbosity of the Python programming language is very simple. If I write it, if I need to kind of simply print up a hello world program, what I'll do is that I'll simply type here uh, print just run. See, I got this hello world. It's a very simple one. All right. So Python, that is a kind of there has so many advantages with using Python. I've already explained you. And okay. Now let's start with the data structures of the Python. Now the Python programming languages has data structures, and in the data structures of the Python, we have our variables, and also we have a data structure. So variables are nothing but variable is a kind of a name placeholder to hold any type of data, which the program can use to assign and modify during the course of execution. So Python is a dynamically typed languages. There is no need to declare a variable explicitly by specifying whether the variable is an integer or a float or a kind of any other type. And to define a new variable, Python is simply assign a value to our name. So variable names can be arbitrarily long. They can continue both the letters and numbers, but they cannot start with a number. Okay, so the variable name equal to the, so general form of the variable is, this is a general form of the variable. So if I have to kind of define a variable name, I'll use this, and then I'll kind of define the expression. All right. So this is how it works. We can Python allows us to kind of assign a single value to several variables simultaneously. All right, so these are the kind of this is how it works. So let me simply let me write a simple Python program. Sorry, the problem with this is the print should be in capital letter, small letter. This is how you declare a variable. Let me take this in other ways as well. Let me see how does it work. There is a problem here. It has to be 3, it has to be 4, and it has to be 2. Now we will be able to kind of print. Okay, so this is how we declare the variable. So this is very simple. I just created a variable and I assign it to any other value I want, and then I use the print function to print it. Python have 4 types of built-in data structures, namely list, dictionary, tuple, and set. List is the most basic type of data structure in Python. List is a mutable data structure, that is item. It can be added to the list later after list creations. It's likely you are going to kind of shop at a local market and make a kind of a list of some items, and later on you can add or more or less item to the list. And the append function is used to add data to the list. Okay, so let's write another function here. I'm trying to append the list now. So this is how I've kind of created a kind of empty list, and then I've tried to append the list. Okay, this is how you do that, and this is how the item you got it. Now let's talk about the input output. So here we'll try to understand how to take the input from the user and hence manipulate it or kind of simple display it. The input function is used to take the input from the user. So let's kind of simple write a simple Python programming over here. Let's print this out. Let's see how it works. I have to kind of enter my name. Yeah, so this is how it works. So this is nothing but this is a kind of a Python program where I am kind of manipulating the data. So now, like, let's try to kind of write a Python program to get the input from the user now. Okay. See, I have written a simple input program where I have kind of like my intern number I have given, and then I have kind of understood like it multiplies the number. And instead of multiply, if I kind of add a division, 8, 4, see the 2. So you can do all those things, right? So this is the output program, input and output program. We'll stop here, and I'll try to kind of start with the next session called the selections. And in the next session, I'll explain the selections and the functions in the Python. Hope you like the session, and do subscribe and kind of like my video and follow. That's it. All right, guys. Thanks.